So I'm going to tell you something very personal. So I might think that this also could help you on your dragon's path. Very, very personal because it's not a good moment of myself. It's actually very dark moment inside of my dragon's path, to be very honest. In order, I had many different encounters on the dragon's path, inside of my dreams and visions and everywhere, and everything is new for me. But after a moment inside of my dragon's path, I started to have very vivid, horrible dreams that I'm not going to repeat whatever I saw, but whatever I saw was pure horror. Horror, terrible things that will never leave my mind anymore. And every single time, every single night, I could see that horrible, vivid dream again in a different way. Like I was in hell and I couldn't put my eyes away from it, inside of these visions, you can say. And after a while, I started to drink a lot, so that I don't see these things anymore inside of my dreams. And for a while, it worked. And actually, I started to also see the positive side of alcohol inside of my dragon's path, because it seems that I could, whenever I had this whenever I had too much alcohol, it seemed that I was much more connected with the dragon. It's much more easy to, for example, do a dragon dance together, and my mind was just gone, because alcohol affects the human mind but not the dragon spirit. So in a way, so my mind was a bit gone, so the dragon spirit had free. And that is actually what alcohol does. Alcohol put the human mind at rest so that your draconic self can arise. But it has a downside, and that is with every single thing. Sometimes I drank too much for an entire year, every single day, to not have these dreams again. And I was so happy that I don't, but my body is starting to react to it. There was even a moment that I didn't have control over my hand. It was like twitching all the time. And I knew it was, even the worst moment was when I became, I was paralyzed. After one moment to another, my brain gave up and I was paralyzed. And I couldn't move anymore. And that is also the result of too much drinking. That is the downside of it, because you might settle your mind at ease with alcohol, and sometimes it is actually a bit like recommended. But the thing is, alcohol is still a drug that can be very addicted, and so many people here live in hell because of that addiction. That is still a drug, so that you have to be careful with. But in a way, in fact, it takes care that your mind is at rest, at ease. So most people actually, on the dragon's path, they don't drink. They take it in a very natural way. And I was very jealous with that, because but like I said, it could also help you. I don't know the effects of drugs on it, but it might be a bit like the same thing. Drugs and alcohol, for example, they always put your mind away, and your human mind needs to go away in order to connect with your dragon. So if some people say you shouldn't do I don't say, of course, that you have to do alcohol, you have to drink alcohol for this, and in order to let you understand a bit more of putting your mind at rest, and so that you can dance with your dragon. I did that so many times, but after a while my body gave up, and I shouldn't do that eventually. With drugs, I don't know. I never had drugs, besides alcohol, of course. But you should remember, every single time when you have alcohol, you are still a human being, and sometimes your body might react very bad to that. But to your spirit, now, your spirit is not affected by the alcohol, especially not a dragon spirit. A dragon spirit is never going to be affected by alcohol. Only your mind will be. Your mind will completely be intoxicated by alcohol, and alcohol is going to be your friend and your enemy, because you have to do it, for example, not as much as I did every single night before I go to sleep, but that was because I was constantly visited by dragon god Leviathan. Leviathan just wanted to have me teach that lesson. So in order so that I know, for example, that I'm actually vegan, that I should care for the animals, that I, the things that Leviathan showed me in these dreams were horrendous, but it took care eventually that I was going to be an animal rights activist, and then I'm going to not to eat them, and then I'm trying to protect them. So eventually Leviathan teach me the ways in a hard way, what I have to become and what my messages that I have to leave behind in this world. That my dragon spirit is actually here present inside of myself to say to the people to be kind for life. But in order to do so, in order to let me understand, he needed to show me. And most of the time, dragons, and especially dragon gods, in order to let you be taught something, they show it to you in a dream state, or in a vision. So, or sometimes they just plain out tell it to you. So that is also what I saw in all these. Later on, I came to understand that this was Leviathan teaching me the way of how I should do it. But I couldn't handle it. I'm still a human, and I still see these things. And even as a dragon spirit, I'm shocked every single time. I was afraid to close my eyes, so that I was doing that, and I came to discover the effects of alcohol. But not only just so that I close my eyes and I don't see anything, but also that alcohol actually put your mind away, your human mind at ease, so that your spirit can take over. And actually that is very beautiful when you think about it. Your spirit takes over the mind, and your spirit is that of the dragon. So in a way you are dancing with the dragon, but your body cannot sustain that for so long. It's still going to be very, very very bad for your brain, very bad for your health. So, and also when you wake up and you have a headache, then is when your gate to the dragon is completely closed. So that is the other side of it. Completely closed. In the morning, you won't find your dragon. You won't find your own dragon self. It is completely closed. It's actually the reverse of it. When you drink alcohol, the effects are amazing. But whenever you wake up from that dreamingless night, then it can be that, it is most of the time that your gate with the dragon will be closed. But eventually it will open up again until that night. And you might want to do that again, because it was so easy to connect with the dragon. And you might want to do that again and again. And that is what drugs is, They want to do it again every single time. But no, it led me into the hospital, paralyzed, twitching, like my nerves were wrecked. It was horrible. It was actually not to laugh at, but I learned my lesson. I still drink, only in the weekends, and just this amount, and that's it. And most of the time when I drink, and I have to be very honest, after I drink, and especially when I drink, I am much more connected to the dragon. I love to dragon dance while I'm doing it. But I don't want to say it's good, you have to drink. No. That is up to you. It's up to you, and don't, just like with every drug, don't exaggerate into the amounts of what you drink and what you use. Just, if you want to drink, and just sit down in front of your dragon altar and let your spirit do the work. And your mind is not able enough to take over, so it's gone. So it has positive effects and it has negative effects. Just like, for example, back in the day, the Native Americans, they used a substance that was basically a drug, and they were much more connected to their ancestors. Their ancestors, they danced before each other. That is a bit like the same thing, And a lot of people question this: is this real? Did they really see their ancestors, or is this just that drugs? Well, it's a bit of both. You can see much more easy, spirits and things like this, whenever you are intoxicated or you are under influence of something that puts your mind at ease, put your mind almost gone, actually. And that is what alcohol does. Alcohol does that. But it's not a good, it's not a good thing to do. Then, if, for example, I have a job for many years now. I've recovered myself, so don't say to yourself that I have to take alcohol or something like this, or drugs, because I have no life or something, I have no money. I went there, I was there, and I was in the deepest abyss of Leviathan. I was there, I have no money, I have horrible dreams, and I was also very depressed and I couldn't feel my dragon anymore. Yeah, and then I could feel my dragon again once I started drinking. But that is not the solution. Not the solution at all. It's still alcohol. It's still a drug. It's still addictive. It's still something bad. So with every single thing in this life, every single thing, don't exaggerate. But I might recommend that you could experiment with this. If you are already know what alcohol does, if you are not new to this, then you might experiment with this, because that is very interesting to see, at least what alcohol does with your mind and spirit, what alcohol does with your connection with the dragon. Whenever you are taking the alcohol, for example, it's going to be an amazing dragon dance that you will never forget. But in the night, after the night, the morning, whenever you wake up, or maybe in the afternoon, it's going to be closed, and you might not get it open for many hours. Eventually, everyone is different in this. I'm just telling you my experience and how I feel it. So with every single thing on the Dragon's Path, experience it. Before you say whatever it does, experience is everything on the Dragon's Path.